Africa's economy in any significant way, or to give would-be migrants less reason to leave.
Recapping the top story, President Cyril Ramaphosa says the state must be at the forefront of deepening the country's respect for the Constitution and the Constitutional Court. I am on Delambana for SFM News Headlines at 1:30.
It's that time of year. The annual Drakensberg Boys Choir Music in the City is upon us. Classic choral works, African rhythms, and foot-stumping Afropop at the Joburg Theatre. 18 to 21 June. Book now on bbchoir.com. See you there.
These are the weekend shows on SAFM. Music of Africa with Sheila Ndikumana. The Weekend View with Bongiwe Zwane. The Jet Set Breakfast with Michelle Constant. Seasons with Khomotso KG Mwekezi. The Soundtrack of Your Life with Ernest Pillay. Weekend Soundowner Classics with Kutlwano Masote. Spotlight with Zai Khan. The Weekend with John Gerika. Shifting Your Lens with Bertha Charuma. This is SAFM. You are listening to The Full Circle.
Put a price on emotion, looking for something to buy. You've got my devotion, but man, I can hate you sometimes. Test of my patience. There's things that we'll never know. You sunshine, you temptress. My hands are risk I fall. Spreading you open is the only way you know you. We'll be a fine line. 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 We'll be
And that is Fine Line from Harry Styles as we get into the Full Circle on Friday, the 20th of June. Welcome to the Full Circle. My name is Khomotso KG Mweketsi. As you know by now, SAFM is being taken over by Young Voices in the month of June, and my co-host today is Luyanda Dlamini. Lulu Dlamini is my co-host for this Friday, the 20th of June. We are SAFM leading the conversations that move us. Our studio numbers 086 000 2032, the SMS line 41391. That SMS will come to you at around 50 on WhatsApp. You can get us on 061 410 4107. We're on the DSTV audio bouquet channel 814 on FM 104 to 107 nationwide. On X, you can get us at SFM Radio, and please hashtag the Full Circle when you talk to us. That song, by the way, and the content of this show today was chosen by my co-host Luyanda Dlamini, and let's say hi to Lulu. Hi, Lulu.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Luyanda Dlamini, also known as Lulu Dlamini. I'm a Rhodes student, and I'm majoring in journalism and psychology. And it's such an honor to be here with you.
It's great to have you here, and I'm so happy that we're going to deliver on content that you curated yourself. So I look forward to it, and let's go for it. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Let's go for it. So coming up on the program today, one of the things that Lulu thinks we should talk about just after one is artisanal careers, because there should be hope beyond X and Y. We're going to have a conversation with Sam Zungu, Deputy Director General of the Department of Higher Education and Training for TVET, to hear what else is out there. And at around 13:45 or 1:45, we'll have a conversation around giving opportunities to children who don't have the same sport as other schools. And that, again, a topic chosen by Lulu. That discussion we'll have with Mamuruti Munama, who's Director of School Sports
at the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and Leleti Nguta Masimanyane, who's a former Banyana player. And then we'll talk after 2 about the Top 16 Youth-Owned Brands Award with Dumelo Chaka, who is an emerging market strategist and consumer behavior expert. We'll round off the show talking professionalizing the creative arts as a career stream, and that conversation we'll have with 2 people as well. Shalom Mushwana, sonic and visual creator and photographer and animator, and Lindogu Sobekwa, who is a photographer. As I said, content curated by Lulu, who is the third producer and my co-presenter. We'll go to break and take off when we come back.
Planet Earth, third planet from the sun. A cool place within the solar system where you can pause and take a deep breath without your lungs exploding. Home to an amazing array of wildlife and amazing landscapes that will leave you breathless either through wonder or fear. For humans, it's a place they call home, the only one that they have now. Team Surai follows a dedicated group of individuals dedicated to protecting the planet. Their mission: to encourage viewers to take concrete steps to protect the Earth. Catch Team Surai Thursdays at 6 p.m. S3, open up.
Winter in Nelson Mandela Bay is for getting out and not staying in. Get outdoors on a green flag hiking trail or go for a game drive at one of 15 private reserves right at our doorstep. Hit the beach or get on board with a whale watching cruise. Explore the historical heart of our city or come vibe with the locals on a township tour. There's so much to discover. Find Nelson Mandela Bay, South Africa on Facebook or visit nmbt.co.za. Nelson Mandela Bay, your winter and our summer destination.
You are listening to The Full Circle.
So welcome back. It's 17 minutes past 1. We're talking now artisanal careers and whether or not there is hope between just X and Y. Because as South Africa continues to grapple with staggeringly high youth unemployment and a widening skills gap, a renewed focus on promoting artisanal causes and careers is gaining traction as a viable solution to some of the country's most pressing economic and social challenges. Artisans, including plumbers, electricians, welders, carpenters, boiler makers, and motor mechanics play a critical role in the functioning of society and the economy. Yet for decades, vocational training has been overshadowed by the pursuit of academic qualifications, often driven by societal perceptions that equate success with university degrees. According to recent data from Statistics South Africa, over 59% of young people aged between the ages of 15 to 24 are not, as we know, in employment or even in education or even in training. At the same time, employers in sectors such as construction, manufacturing and energy consistently report a shortage of qualified artisans. This mismatch points to a significant opportunity to reposition artisanal careers as respected and attractive pathways for young South Africans. We invited Sam Zungu, Deputy Director General of the Department of Higher Education and Training for TVET. Sam, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. As I did say at the beginning of our show, this interview is going to be conducted by myself and my co-host Luyanda Dlamini. So you'll hear 2 voices who will be asking you questions. But I'll go first. Many people still see artisanal careers as a last resort option. Why do you think this perception persists, and how can we begin to shift that mindset?
Good afternoon, KG, and good afternoon to your co-host, the young voices, and we appreciate the opportunity that you are giving to our young people as SABC, and good afternoon, Luyanda. I am glad that we are having this topic, and we are having this topic during the Youth Month. I just came back last week. The deputy president was in the University of Potchefstroom, and among the young people who were exhibiting their own products or initiatives was a young entity established by 2 electricians who are coming from Tibet, Vuselela Tibet College, who studied electrical engineering. Then they went on to do trade tests, and after that, qualifying as artisans, then they've now started their own business as electricians. I think the perceptions, as you say, KG, well, they come a long way. Some of us are victims of that. You go to school, you get your A grades, and when you think and feel that you want to pursue an artisanal career, your teachers and your parents will simply tell you that you are university material. Yet, anything and everything that is there now in the studio in front of you that you can feel and touch, the floor, the furniture, and all those technical things that are there, you'll find a fingerprint of an artisan. I think for years, when we grow up, this is an area that I would say, particularly amongst our black young people, that we were deprived of, because the perception that everyone that wants to make a career or a living must go to university, that is stuck even till today with some of our parents who decides in most cases for their children where to go. And they also, as parents, we sometimes tend to want to reproduce ourselves. If I'm a doctor, I want my kids also to become doctors. And then we put so much pressure on them to pursue what we think will be best for them and not what they think will be best for them. And it's even worse now, KG, that we are dealing with the Generation Z, who are so much liberated in their thinking and the way they do things. I know I go to work, I wear a tie, I wear a suit. For them, there's no 8 and 5 p.m. knock off. They can come anytime, work throughout the hours. They don't have that. And even the way they dress is not really a matter for them. What matters for them is the production or productivity level. So I think it is something that is a stigma on the technical and vocational education, particularly in the past, where most people who go to these colleges, they seem to be perceived to be doing what is called dirty jobs. We are a plumber, obviously you're going to get dirty. We're a mechanical guy, you're going to get dirty. We're a carpenter and so forth. And what was sold to us is that you need to be neat and clean when you're at work. All these jobs that are seen to be categorized as those dirty jobs, no, they are not for us. So that is what has been happening over the years, and we are trying so hard as government and the Department of Education and Training to see how can we destigmatize the technical and vocational education, and for our young people to see that through these careers you could either look for employment or you could actually start your own business.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zungu. It's Lulu here. So what would you say exactly qualifies as an artisanal career in today's economy, and how have these roles evolved with modern technology and industrial needs?
Well, if you look, we are still in the modern, we are now in the modern era, and the 21st century. We had a slogan as the Department of Education and Training that was saying it's cool to be a 21st century artisan. In as much as their roles will be changing, but there are those basic things, like for instance, I've mentioned certain careers, bricklayers, you still have to find a bricklayer, although it might change because they will have to infuse technology. So there has been a drive in terms of digitalization of these skills or these trades. For instance, you find someone that wants to produce or manufacture a bolt. So in terms of programming those lathe and CNC machines, they will probably do it on their phone and then just put the material so that by the time they get into the plant, this machine has already moved the material, cut it, or maybe use robotics in doing these things. So that is evolving as well in terms of artisanal trade. So they change from time to time. If you look at people who are in plumbing, for instance, you would have taken some instrument that you dip to check where the blockages are. These days, they do send cameras that will be able to see where the blockage are, so that you don't waste time digging trenches to find where the blockage is. So in modern technology as well, in our institutions, we ensure that we try to adapt to the latest technologies so that we don't leave people behind when there are some of these changes. So there's quite a lot that has happened in the development of the new trades.
Yeah, of course. So from your experience, said Mr. Zungu, what are some of the most in-demand artisanal careers in South Africa right now? And what do you think the kind of earning potential do you think they offer?
At the moment, I would say when we developed something that was called centers of specialization, the centers of specialization, we developed them in order to try and adapt to the best artisanal development programs in the world, or systems in the world, which we will all know that would be Germany, Switzerland, and the like. So in these areas, when we develop the center of specialization, we call it a dual apprenticeship. So in other words, you spend 2 days at the college and spend 3 days in the workplace. So they were focusing on what was called the strategic infrastructure projects. I hope maybe KG will remember them. How many were those? We used to call them SIPs. There were about 18 SIPs that were focusing on the infrastructural development of South Africa. And then we developed these centers. But the focus then was on 13 trades that will range from bricklaying, electrician, millwright, boiler maker, plumbers, mechanic, diesel mechanic, carpenter and joiner, welder, rigger, fitter and turner, mechanical fitter and pipe fitter. So those were about 13 trades at the time. But we have seen again, as you say, which ones will probably be paying the most. People will be surprised that most plumbers, some of them in major cities like Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, they will probably earn more than the doctors. Yes, because of the amount of work that they have to do. One, plumbing in these cities, you have a lot of dilapidating infrastructure that requires a lot of plumbing work. Therefore, they are in high demand. So you'll find that
because AI can't do plumbing, Mr. Zungu. AI will never be able to do plumbing. That's why there's so much in demand.
Exactly, we are not there yet. Okay, you're quite right, and it's going to take a while for us to reach there. Yes, you have seen in other developed countries that they are now trying to deploy such technologies, but we are not there yet. As a developing nation, we should be investing more on these kind of skills. For instance, if we are saying we want to industrialize South Africa, there's no way we are going to industrialize South Africa without investing on these kind of careers. What we are facing in South Africa in terms of our education system is what is called an inverted pyramid. I think, Katie, you alluded to this, that the majority of young people, as they leave basic education, should be the base of the pyramid. The center of the pyramid will be university education system in South Africa, and then the tip of the pyramid will be the intake in TVET. And that's an anomaly, which you go to countries like Germany and even in China now, that the majority of young people, as they leave basic education, they go to TVET, and less will go to university. And this will then also be a replica in any workplace.
Yeah. Mr. Zungu, can I ask for your indulgence? We have to quickly go to the news headlines and ask you to pause your trail of thought, and then we'll continue with our conversation when we come back from the news headlines. It's 1:30. It's time for the news headlines.
Thank you, KG. On the news headlines, President Cyril Ramaphosa has committed to ensuring the independence of the country's judiciary. Ward Councillor in Jabulani, Soweto, Dumisani Mutladlaba says kidnappings have become a crisis in his area. He says the hive of activity around Jabulani Mall has attracted criminal elements with patrons targeted by kidnappers. And the classic singer Andrea Bocelli has released an unexpected duet with his fellow Italian and tennis world #1 Yannick Sinner. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
Winter in Nelson Mandela Bay is for getting out and not staying in. Get outdoors on a green flag hiking trail or go for a game drive at one of 15 private reserves right at our doorstep. Hit the beach or get on board with a whale watching cruise. Explore the historical hearts of our city or come vibe with the locals on a township tour. There's so much to discover. Find Nelson Mandela Bay, South Africa on Facebook or visit nmbt.co.za. Nelson Mandela Bay, your winter and our summer destination.
The reigning champions Banyana Banyana and 11 African national teams are ready to tackle each other for WAFCON 2024 to determine who are the real queens of the continent. Where Africa competes, South Africa connects. Experience the Women Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024 from 5 to 26 July 2025. Streaming live on SABC Plus, SABC 1 and SABC 2. Also available on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4 and SABC radio stations. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
Hey, Paul, what's the rush?
I'm off to SARS. I want to check if I'll be auto-assessed.
No need. If you're auto-assessed, SARS will send you a notice between 7 and 20 July.
So I just wait for the notice?
Exactly. If you get the notice, check it. And if you agree, you're done. Disagree, file using e-filing or the SARS Mobi app. If you don't get the notice, file from 21 July. Make tax matters your priority. Go to sars.gov.za and say goodbye to queues. SARS, at your service.
This Youth Month, SAFM celebrates the spirit, power and potential of young South Africans. Join us as we dive into conversations that matter, from innovation to education and skills for the changing world, empowering youth for meaningful economic participation. Because at SAFM, we're not just talking, we're leading the conversations that move us. You are listening to The Full Circle.
Welcome back to The Full Circle. We've been in conversation with the Deputy Director General of the Department of Higher Education and Training for TVET because we're exploring artisanal careers and finding hope between X and Y. My name is Khomotso KG Mweketsi and I've got a co-host today in the form of Rhodes student Luyanda Dlamini. Lulu, you can go back.
Oh, hi, Mr. Zaging. I hope you're still with us. I just wanted to ask, can you walk us through the typical training journey?
At the college level, at the provincial level, and then we have national competitions where we encourage young people to pursue the entrepreneurial, stream as well. Because once you have acquired a trade, it means you can be able to do anything in that particular field that you have chosen. So we try to infuse entrepreneurship in our training at this point in time. Most colleges now have what is called entrepreneurial units or centers, which then allows young people to come up with ideas, so from ideation all the way to the actual final concept, which can then be commercialized if they so wish. So it's a very important point that we are asking, because it is only through that you can be able to create job opportunities for other young people that are coming, but also utilize those enterprises that would have been developed by qualified artisans to further train and develop the apprentices that are still in training. And that's how the German model happens. So they open the door for you as an apprentice, and until you qualify as an artisan, you go start your business, you do the same to the others that are upcoming. You welcome and open the door for them to be trained as apprentices and then eventually become artisans. So they continue, to replicate and develop more artisans. So we do have that infused in most of our programs now, and we hope that we will get more cooperation, particularly amongst the other sister departments like the Department of Small Business Development and its agencies or entities like your CEDA, who can help us to assist young people to develop fundable business plans, but also provide mentorship for them so that their businesses do not collapse soon after they've been established.
Thank you, Mr. Zungu. So you had mentioned plumbing and electrical work, but we often hear that there's a skill shortage in those areas. And what role do you think parents or schools can play, even the media, in encouraging young people to explore these careers? Because they are very important.
They are very, very important, Lolo, because the country, you remember, I don't know how old were you in 2010?
Oh.
When we were hosting the FIFA World Cup.
Yes.
And we had to build stadia. And we were found wanting because we didn't have a skilled and capable workforce that could actually construct these stadia. So we had to outsource such skills from outside to come, and basic skills like welding or coded welding that had to be outsourced. So they are very key, and I think parents have got a very, very big role to play in this issue of career choices. That they need to sit with their children to say, look, in as much as you probably want to become a lawyer, you want to become a medical doctor and so forth, but it will be good that each and every young South African has a trade, because with that trade you have an option. You can continue to become a medical doctor, but you have already acquired a trade that you can then utilize to make a living when anything else does not work at that time. So it's very important for parents, for us as a department as well, through our career advice entity that is called KETA. We do run these sessions. We do have open days in our TVET colleges where we invite, learners from high schools or secondary schools, but it's important that we start, advising them at an early age, not to wait until they are in matric or grade 11, but start them at an early age where they start to choose the streams in which they are going to go to. So it's very important, but also through media. And I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity that the SAFM is giving us to talk about these things so that people get information, because sometimes there's a lack of information that then compel people to make wrong career choices. And through yourselves, through your structures as young people, you can talk about these things and volunteer in your structures to take other young people to go and see, have a feel and touch of what it means to be a mechanical, a diesel mechanic, what it means to be a plumber. You go and visit these colleges because they always open that door. So it's a very important. Churches, all other structures that can convey this message, it's very important.
Mr. Zungu, it's KG again. At the beginning of the show, we invite our listeners to send questions for you. And here's one that came through on WhatsApp. I'm reading as is. Afternoon, I wish you can talk to the minister or ask the minister. Well, it's not a minister, it's a deputy DG. That is he aware that we as students from TVET colleges have a problem when it comes to the process of diplomas. As I'm talking to you right now, I have 8 months waiting for my diploma. Can you respond to that, Mr. Zungu?
Yes. No, thank you very much. And it's a very important question. We've had a challenge where young people have been writing all the way to the presidential hotline, to the ministry, even myself, that I've received such queries where students are saying they've been struggling to get their certificates. There are certain categories And there are students who would have qualified, have met all the requirements, and that there could have been a delay in terms of the printing of these certificates. We do encourage the students to engage their respective institutions, who must then write to us to say the following students have not received their certificates, what could be the backlog, so that we are able to address those issues through our National Examination Assessment Unit. We also have another category, KG, of students who would have done some modules, but because of some struggles, they were not able to complete on record time. So it means they will have some lags which they must complete. Our challenge was that our system is not automated. So if you've done certain modules and you proceeded or progressed to the next level, but you still have 2 other modules behind. So when you've now completed them, our system is not yet automated. That will then indicate that you've now completed. It requires someone to manually combine those, we call it subject combination, that can then supply the manual application for us to release the certificate. So we do acknowledge those, but we do encourage them to always go to their respective institutions where they studied, and those institutions must then send those queries to us for us to address them. We do, KG, however, we are working on an automated system that will ensure that once the student has completed and met all the requirements, they can send their requests for their certificates to be released. But that system must also link to their own communication devices, so cell phones, where they can get an update as to where their applications are lying at this point in time. And if ever it's sitting there for more than the required time, and then it gets elevated to the supervisor. And I think that will then assist the students to be kept informed, because I think what has been happening is an issue of the lack of communication for them to know where their applications are sitting.
Right.
So
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Zungu.
Those to send through their requests of queries through their colleges.
Right. Because we're running out of time, I have one more question to ask you. What advice would you give to young people who may not see university as their path, but they're passionate with working with their hands and building a career from that?
I think we've got a big potential as young people in a country like South Africa that is still a developing country, a country that is also a part of the BRICS member countries, a country that is also part of the G20, that the skills that they will acquire as we've been engaging in the G20, we're talking about the issues of mutual recognition of our qualifications, so that we do not limit our young people who have acquired certain qualifications to only ply their trade here within the borders of South Africa, but can also go out in any other country, any other region, because their qualifications will be mutually recognized. So we want to say, we understand the frustration of our young people in terms of the high unemployment rate, but I think with the skills that they can acquire in TVET colleges, they could actually be able to venture into entrepreneurial activities rather than looking for employment faced with a shrinking economy. So I want to say to young people, please explore the opportunities. And I want to say to parents, please allow your children to go and see if they cannot explore the opportunities that are available within the TVET colleges.
Yeah.
But we are also...
Mr. Zungu, we've run out of time, but we're going to thank you now for all of the insights that you've shared. Sam Zungu is the Deputy Director General of the Department of Higher Education and Training for TVET. Thank you so much. We're going to come back and continue a conversation again around the enrichment development of the, the department, around issues of sports, I think, with Bongani Zondi, who's Deputy Director for Sports Enrichment at the Department of Basic Education, and Leletu Nguta Masimanyane, who's a former Banyana player. And at this point, I think Lulu wanted us to talk about sports that is different outside of just the average sports that happens at other schools. We'll be back in a short while.
I'm Michelle Constant. Join the JSB crew and I every Saturday and Sunday morning between 7 and 10 a.m. We promise to keep you informed and entertained with innovation, culture, cars, travel, life learnings, environment, and of course, your big fat juicy. Small stories, big ideas, massive inspiration. The Jet Set Breakfast on SAFM.
You are listening to The Full Circle.
So, welcome back. It's 10 to 2. We're talking now giving opportunities to children who don't have the same spot as other schools, because it's quite sad to dream of being something big, of being somebody really, influential on court or field or even pool, and knowing you won't get there unless you have the funds to do so. Playing sport is an exciting thing to do. It helps improve your well-being. There are studies actually that say that playing sport helps you out at school. It helps your mental health. It helps you with stress. We should give opportunities to children who don't have the same sport as other kids. And we're not talking horse riding, underwater hockey or fencing or ice skating, as nice as they all sound. I know the casual sport almost every school has is soccer, it's netball. They have running, hockey and basketball. But we have so many talented children in our country, and they can get scholarships with their physical gifts. And a career can be built. Yes, we have many great South African players who make their way out there, who represent our country prominently in rugby, in soccer and cricket. But wouldn't it be wonderful to have more? So let's explore that conversation with Bongani Zondi, Deputy Director, Sport Enrichment at the Department of Basic Education, and Leletu Nguta Masimanyane, former Banyana player. Good afternoon to the both of you.
Good afternoon, and Luyanda, and to the rest of SAFM listeners.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to ask, were you inspired by someone on TV or even a magazine, and you wished that you could do that or play that sport?
And that's for Leletu, right? The former Banyana player.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, I was. Since I was a young kid, back in 1998, there were former Banyana players at the time. Players like Veronica Pewa, Bomile Kumalo, Omot Kumalo, even the current coach of Banyana, Pedro Ellis. So I was looking up to them when I was growing up.
So how was your journey in sport? Could you tell us about that, please?
Okay. I don't know where to start, but I started when I was 8 to actually play for a team. And I come from the Eastern Cape, in Zulita, which is a town in Konwe, formerly known as King Williamstown. So when you are that young in that setup or in that area, all you do is play. So from then, I knew that I wanted to be a soccer player. I wanted to play for Banyana. Mm. But unfortunately, I didn't see it happening because of where I was coming from, because there were no Banyana players from my area. So I didn't see it as possible. But fortunately, when I went to Walter Sisulu University, that's where I got to be exposed to the varsity football tournaments, and also I got spotted by my late former coach, who coached Fodo from Amtata for a Coastal United ladies, and that's where I actually grew fonder of the game and actually know and understand the game. So from there, I guess I flourished, and I got to represent the province, in so many tournaments. Before I knew it, I was part of the Banyana Banyana in 2009. It has not been an easy journey because when you have a dream, you just need to remind yourself of what you want, regardless of what is happening around you.
Yeah. I want to get in the conversation also. It's KG Mwekezi now. Bongani, good afternoon, and hi Leleti. Amazing story, by the way. Bongani, you know, the role you have is Deputy Director for Sport Enrichment at the Department of Basic Education. Very important role, because when we say sport enrichment, we're talking about particularly giving opportunities to, you know, kids all over South Africa to say there's hope for you in a particular sporting code, even if you come from, let's say, a previously disadvantaged area. Tell me about how you envision the value of sport enrichment at the Department of Basic Education. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, KG, Luyanda, and Leleti, and also the viewers. You are correct. Sport is very crucial in the upbringing of the kids that we have in the system. Currently, in the system, we have plus minus 13 million learners throughout all the provinces, with the 74 districts that we have in the country, from 24,000 schools as such. So sport is one of the enrichment programs that we have in the system, where we encourage all learners to be able to participate in sport because of the benefits that you've already alluded to in your opening remarks as such. And we take this very serious in the fact that we also have a partnership with the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. The two ministers last year, in September, they signed the memorandum of the implementation protocol, which is a form of a document that provides or that gives the guide to schools as such, and opens that platform for schools to be able to participate in the programs. Because what we also view as the Department of Basic Education is that we don't want our kids to only concentrate on competitive sport only, because that also tends to alienate the other learners, but to also encourage that there is continuous participation in the system. So in that, we ensure that we try to open up those doors. Yeah.
Do you facilitate scholarships, particularly for kids that have great physical gifts? Because in South Africa, kids that have great intellectual gifts have opportunities to get scholarships, to advance their education because they're intellectually more able than other kids. But what happens to the ones that are physically more able than the others? Do you create a pathway for them to get scholarships for their physical gifts?
Yes, we certainly do. With working with the Department of Arts and Culture as well as the federations, those that are talented, we also engage with our various partners that we have in the system, partners like Motsepe Foundation and the like, just to ensure that at least those that are talented, they are provided an opportunity to excel at that highest level as such. And we recently, I think 2-3 years ago, we've also started a process whereby even in our programs that we co-host with the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, we don't only end at national level, but we then proceed through to the COSAFA as well as continental level, so that those learners that are identified as being talented can also be provided opportunities. Some of them are signed up by the professional clubs and they become part and parcel of the national teams. So that creates that pathway in terms of talent identification and talent nurturing, so that that talent that is that resides in our schools is not lost through the cracks as such. So we engage a number of partners. We also offer those career guidance through the districts as well as provinces, so that those learners, because there are many opportunities in sport, some become administrators, some continue to be sports psychologists and all of those. So we also provide platforms where these various careers are also made available through to our learners as such.
This is a question for Leleti. Lulu here. May you please share encouraging words for the youth who want to pursue sports as a career?
Thank you so much. I think what is more important is that you need to have a dream.
Yeah.
Also, having the dream, you need to protect your dream and goals. Because when you are on a path to something great, your environment and who you surround yourself with
is
can make or
important.
break the spirit of your ambitions. So if you do not vet, screen, and be intentional about who you surround yourself with, you can unintentionally welcome negativity, doubt, and pessimism into your road to success.
Yeah.
And like a cancer, it poisons the body of your dream.
Yeah.
So know who and what you allow in your space.
Powerful. Leleti Nguta Masimanyane, former Banyana Banyana player, Bongani Zondi, Deputy Director Sport Enrichment at the Department of Basic Education. Thank you to the both of you for affording us time. It's time for the latest news.
Thank you, KG. On the top stories, Ramaphosa speaks on the independence of the judiciary, and Jabulani in Soweto sees a rise in kidnapping cases. For SAFM News, I am Ondalambana, and a very good day. President Cyril Ramaphosa has committed to ensuring the independence of the country's judiciary. Speaking at the 30-year celebration of the establishment of the Constitutional Court in Johannesburg today, Ramaphosa said a joint committee of government is working on finalizing the process to enable the courts to operate without interference from other spheres of the state.
It has been an anomaly of our constitutional architecture that we've had Parliament as an independent institution in our Constitution, fully and properly recognized, and the executive, but the judiciary has, on an unfair basis, had to depend on government on a variety of matters, from getting approval for the appointment of people and not even being in complete control of their own budget. This comes to an end now.
Ramaphosa says that the judiciary will benefit from an increased allocation in the 2025 budget for use to improve superior court services for judicial education, filling vacant posts, and address other funding shortfalls. Ward Councillor in Jabulani, Soweto, Dumisani Mutlatlaba, says kidnappings have become a crisis in his area. He says the hive of activity around Jabulani Mall has attracted criminal elements, with patrons targeted by kidnappers. Mutlatlaba says the recent trend targets residents who frequent the mall and workers using e-hailing services. Recent police data indicates that between January and March this year, Jabulani Police Station saw 47 kidnapping cases, which is up from just 15 cases during the same period last year. Mutlatlaba urges Jabulani residents to be vigilant, particularly when using e-hailing services for transportation. Mutlatlaba elaborates.
This matter of kidnapping is a crisis in my ward because we are surrounded by a mall, and also what we have noticed, the worst one is when they request for Uber, when they're supposed to go and visit anyone or went to the malls or to the work, then they are kidnapped. What I can say to the community is they must be careful when they request for this Bolt or Uber. They must double check the driver, they must take the pictures of the number plate, but it's no longer safe. Even if you are in the car, it's an issue of trust.
The Minister of Higher Education and Training, Dr. Nobuhle Pamela Ngabane, has extended her condolences to the family and friends of slain University senior official Sinethemba Mbambane, who was fatally shot outside the institution's Nelson Mandela Drive campus in Mthatha last night. Mbambane served as the Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Institutional Support and Development at the institution. This comes just a few months after the fatal shooting of Sisonke Mbolegwa, a final year student who was killed during a protest on the same campus in April 2025. Higher Education Minister spokesperson Tsamagwini Mavovana says the minister will urgently engage with the university management to assess existing security and identify immediate measures to ensure safety on campus.
The minister is profoundly disturbed that yet another life has been lost under violent circumstances at a university. The safety and well-being of students and staff must be prioritized at all times. The academic community cannot thrive in an environment characterized by fear and violence. Institutions of higher learning must remain sanctuaries for teaching, learning, and transformation. The Minister extends heartfelt condolences to the family of Mr. Mpambane and the broader Walter Sisulu University community.
Young people in Northern Cape who have not been paid their stipends for a learnership funded by the Department of Labour say they have had enough of empty promises. This week, the group took to the streets, barricaded the R31 between Buckley West and Longlands with rocks and burning tyres, demanding answers. The affected young people are from Gongong, Kuruman, Del Botshuab and Longlands. The program is funded by the Department of Labour through its Unemployment Insurance Fund and is implemented by the Mine Workers Development Agency, and the escapers is one of the affected students.
We are fed up for these people. They must just give us our money and then they can leave us. And at the end of the day, they are sent subs to us, come and arrest the people. Just for our money. We just want our money, so we are giving them the last day today. Today they must give us our money. And if they didn't give us our money today, then we're going to take further steps against them.
The classical singer Andrea Bocelli has released an unexpected duet with his fellow Italian and tennis world #1 Jannik Sinner. The title of the song is translated as Dust and Glory, and it features Sinner reciting motivational lines from his winning and losing speeches. The BBC's Kezia Salah has the details.
The Italian tenor has described the lyrics as a tribute to resilience and said he admires Jannik Sinner's humility.
That's the most important thing.
In response, the tennis champion said that hearing his voice in one of Bocelli's songs was incredibly moving. The track has been described as a musical dialogue between two Italian icons, but it has received a mixed response on social media in the short time since its release. Some have hailed it as the summer hit they didn't know they needed, while others have dismissed it as cringeworthy. Others are calling the tennis champion Jannik Sinner.
Recapping the top story, President Cyril Ramaphosa has committed to ensuring the independence of the country's judiciary. I am Ondalambana for SAFM News Headlines at 2:30.
Tension and drama will go above the rooftop as the believers want to play in the Big Boys League, while the citizens say they are used to life in Mzansi's elite league. This is the PSL Promotional Playoffs. Catch Cashrick Stars versus Cape Town City this Saturday, 21 June at 2:30 p.m. Streaming live on SABC Plus and SABC One. Also available at 3 p.m. on SABC radio stations. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
This week on Off-Pitch Goals. After league and cup triumphs for Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns, George Maluleka, Lethonolo Majoro and George Lebesi embark on a journey to conquer the glamorous world of cosmetics. Join us as we find out how they maneuver through this highly competitive industry. Streaming on SABC Plus and SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4 on Saturday, 21 June at 8:30 p.m. Off-Pitch Goals, where we showcase how the stars score in business. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
It's that time of year. The annual Drakensberg Boys Choir Music in the City is upon us. Classic choral works, African rhythms, and foot-stumping Afropop at the Joburg Theatre. 18 to 21 June. Book now on bbchoir.com. See you there.
Two lucky couples stand in line to experience the Eastern Cape's Arts Festival Magic from the 27th to the 29th of June 2025. The lucky winners receive return flights to Gqeberha, 3 nights cozy accommodation with dinner and breakfast, your own Eastern Cape Parks and Tourism Agency vehicle and driver, an exclusive Sunday morning excursion and tickets to the best National Arts Festival shows of the opening weekend in Makanda. Have your phone ready and listen to the full circle. Call us on 086 000 2032 and say, Eastern Cape, yours to explore. Then tell us why you love the Eastern Cape and want to go to the National Arts Festival. The first 2 couples to correctly make the call will swap their weekend routine for art, culture, and adventure. Dial in now and make the Eastern Cape your next story.
You are listening to The Full Circle.
Like the legend of the phoenix, all ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force from the beginning. Love. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cause to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 The present has no ribbon. Your gift keeps on giving. What is this I'm feeling? If you wanna leave, I'm with it. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cause to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get. 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 We're up all night to get lucky. 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 Come so far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cause to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky.
You feeling lucky, Lulu? You feel lucky?
I do.
Listen, that's Daft Punk featuring Pharrell Williams. Get Lucky. That song again chosen by Lulu. You've got great taste in music.
Thank you.
You had us dancing in the studio. You're a great dancer.
Thank you. You too.
Welcome to the second hour of the Full Circle with me, Khomotso KG Mweketi and Luyanda Lulu Dlamini. In this hour, we're going to have a conversation about the Youth-Owned Brands Awards 2025 with Dumelo Chaka, and later on we'll talk professionalizing the creative arts and arts really as a career stream with Shalom Mushwana and Lindoguhle Sobekwa. It's me and Lulu. We'll be back with those conversations in a short while.
Orbit College is highly spirited and believe they are intelligent enough to secure 3 vital points. But the citizens are confident they will prevail with their top-flight football experience. This is the PSL Promotional Playoffs. Catch the hot contest between Orbit College and Cape Town City on Wednesday, 25 June at 2:30 p.m. Streaming on SABC Plus and SABC2. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Gordon Ramsay is back, and your favorite kitchen disasters are still somehow in business. New season, same confused chefs, terrifying walk-ins, and enough grease to fry your Wi-Fi. Watch as Gordon tries to fix the unfixable with nothing but sheer rage, British sarcasm, and an iron stomach. Kitchen Nightmares Season 8, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on S3. Come for the food, stay for the emotional damage.
This Youth Month, SAFM celebrates the spirit, power and potential of young South Africans. Join us as we dive into conversations that matter, from innovation to education and skills for the changing world. Empowering youth for meaningful economic participation. Because at SAFM, we're not just talking, we're leading the conversations that move us. You are listening to The Full Circle.
Since it's Youth Month, it's a good time to reflect on both the challenges and the potential of young people in South Africa. Youth Month is still a major issue. Near 60% of young people are still out of work. But many are stepping us up, entrepreneurs, and creating opportunities for themselves and others, even though their efforts often go unnoticed. The top 16 youth-owned brand owners, Yoba 2025 claims to change that by recognizing young brand owners making a real impact. This year, over 2,000 entries were received, and 72 finalists have been selected for their innovation, resilience, and drive. What are Yobas? Could you please tell us about it? I'm here with Dumelo Chaka. She is an emerging marketing strategist and consumer behavior expert.
Hi, Dumelo.
How are you? How are you guys?
We're good, thank you. It's KG and Lulu.
Great to be here, KG and Lulu. Hope you guys are well.
We're good. Lulu just asked you to please tell us about the Yobas.
So the Yobas for us is that platform where, as an institution and organization, we want to recognize youth excellence in the continent, and we're saying that we want to be that voice that will anchor the work that the youth is doing. We believe that in the future, and which is a fact, Africa's biggest consumer market sits with the youth. So how do we partner with the youth to show the work that they do and showcase that excellence that they do as we partner with big business?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's exhausting for me. I feel like living in South Africa means everybody has some sort of award thing going on. What distinguishes the Yobas, the Youth-Owned Brand Awards? What makes them different? Because we live in a time and a world now where everyone and everything says they are a brand. Tell us what distinguishes the Youth-Owned Brand Awards to everything else that is out there on the market.
I think what brings about parity about the Yobas is that it is a partnership of youth and corporate South Africa and corporate Africa. We talk to big corporates, we talk to the youth to find that gap where we find winners that, one, can build big businesses, grow to be corporates, grow to be influencers in the market that does great work. I mean, we look at our past winners. We look at Tsepo Jeans. He's done exceptionally well in the market. We look at personalities like Robert Boy, who's done well in partnering with big corporates. So not only do we give you awards, we look at people that are able to scale in business and make an impact in corporate Africa and South Africa.
Tumelo, could you give us an idea of the different brands that were shortlisted?
So we were looking at different categories that were there. So from about 2,000 votes that came in and nominations, we had to scale down to 72 of them. And I mean, we're looking at in agriculture, in hair care, we're looking at personalities that are sitting in different markets. And tomorrow evening, we'll come up with the top 16 of those. And one of them will be seen as the biggest, as a top brand out of those 16.
Oh, fantastic. Wow. So what does it do, for these youth-owned brand awards to win a Yoba? What does it do for their trajectory? I love that you just mentioned Tsepo Jeans because Tsepo Jeans are completely amazing. But what does it do when a youth-owned brand wins a Yoba? What does it do for their path as they navigate the world of business?
I think, and we as an organization, as the Yobas, we believe that being a winner gives you that added edge, the confidence, for us, the chutzpah and spirit to say you can win. If you look at Legends Baba, today Sheldon is doing awesome work in the continent, and he is one of the winners of the Yoba. So for me, it gives you that commercial edge, that business acumen to go out there and change the world and shape how entrepreneurship looks in the world.
So what business brand stood out to you, and could you tell us a little bit about that?
So, I mean, it was a diversity of entries. So we looked at different markets and different industries. I don't want to throw in who wins for tomorrow, but what I can tell you is each and every category had people that were stellar in terms of business acumen. We looked at scalability around the continent, had reach, but most importantly, build brands that appeal to consumers. So come tomorrow, you will see which brands appealed to us as judges, to the voters at large. Because end of the day, it's the voters that chose. And
that is the part we didn't know. That is the part we didn't know. So the process involves just ordinary people voting for winners. Is that what you're saying, outside of just the judges?
Absolutely, because we believe a brand is not what we say it is, it's what they say it is. So as the voters who interact and are actually consumers of these brands, they decide which brands win. Our job is to just come in and do the small part of shortlisting from the 2000. The voters, the consumers, the people that interact with these brands choose who wins tomorrow night.
Yeah, but what surprises you? Because, I mean, especially considering that there's the involvement of ordinary people, what surprises you in when you as judges ultimately sit and sift out? What surprised you this year about the degree of innovation in these brands? I'm sure there has to be some movement that you're seeing compared to what happened last year.
We see the youth taking charge and saying, I will not look at constraints that are there in business. Over the past years, entrepreneurs look at constraints. The youth now are saying we are a can-do market, we are a can-do generation, and we will do it with or without support. And for them to be able to break through those barriers has been for us a visible element of what has been different in the past. But more importantly, the boldness to go and challenge big business. Gone are the days for us where youth says we are small businesses. They're saying we are a big business that can partner with corporate South Africa, corporate Africa, and their reach has been phenomenal. They go beyond borders and able to trade within the context of Africa.
So, Tumelo, what is the prize that our lucky contestants get to win?
I think, each one wants to go home tomorrow and sleep with that Yoba trophy. That for us is massive. It's that sign of excellence. It's that proof that you've done well in the past year and over the years. But more importantly is that recognition where now in the rooms there sits big corporate that says we are willing to partner and trade with you. So not only are you getting the Yoba trophy, but you are getting recognition in front of peers, in front of big corporates, and those that are saying we are willing to partner with you.
Yeah. The sad thing about competition is that, there's few winners, but I'm going to assume that if there were 2,000 entries, over 2,000 entries that were received, and ultimately 72 finalists that ended up being selected for their innovation and resilience, I'm going to assume that there's a degree of connection that gets given to these 72, connection to at least, help them in the advancement of their businesses. Because I'm assuming one of the biggest things that the Yobas put on the table is a platform of networking.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, let's zone into the partners we have that give you that element of brand visibility. One, we've got SABC as a very, very dope partner for us. That during this whole process of the shortlisting, of the voting, has been able to elevate these brands. So one, you're getting brand visibility at almost no cost. But secondly, is one of our partners, FNB. FNB Commercial is saying, how can we help you as a corporate? What is our part that we can play as a youth brand that we can help you build and stabilize your business, regardless if you are part of the winners or not. And for me, it's two elements where we say we are able to give you brand visibility, but secondly, we are able to help you structure your business from a banking and financial perspective. But lastly, that boldness that you as a youth brand business were able to come in and be able to compete and go for the big prize. You're saying that this year maybe you didn't win, but next year could be. And you've seen over the years that people who haven't won the last year come and win the following year.
Yeah, the story is changing, isn't it, Tumelo? Because, young people that are unemployed are saying, well, it's fine, the formal market can leave us behind, but we're going to try our own things.
And that's what will change the way things move in the future. But most importantly, also, KG, that you look at big corporate is needing the agility of youth businesses who understand the customer better. So the partnerships now are more entrenched and more needed, especially for agile small businesses that are run by youth who are the future consumers of this world.
How future focused were they, Tumelo, in terms of things like AI?
Oh man, you've got to bet on the youth to be innovative. You've got to bet on them to be forward thinking. So we've seen people using tech in a way that shifts how they want. Look at algorithms that look at customer growth. One of our key elements that this year we were really focusing on was, can their business scale, and how is it scaling, and how are they using tech in this brand world to be able to grow their businesses. And it was a tough selection for us because most of the youth-owned brands are now forward-thinking and using tech as a growth engine.
Yeah. My last thought is, what is it about the Yobas that put the Africa in it? Because one of the things that I think we learned, particularly from COVID time, is that the uniqueness of us is what makes us grand and great to the world. And Amapiano is teaching us that in how they, have taken over the world. So the stamp of Africanness is something that we can never leave in anything that we touch, whether that is in the brands that we do, or the music or the art or whatever I do. So in the Yobas, what about the Yobas stamps the mark of Africanness?
So as the Yobas, moreover, as a Yoba institution, we've seen ahead that if you look at 2050, 2030, Africa stands to be one of the biggest and stronghold of consumerism. But most importantly, Africa will be one of the biggest innovators in the world. So we're looking at how do we start that conversation now and be a part of that conversation as the Yobas and partner with the youth to go and journey on us being one of the biggest continents in the future. You look at how the likes of Brand Africa has has been doing in terms of recognizing brands in Africa. We are saying, as the Yobas, we will be there to be the one that will elevate youth excellence and always champion the excellence of youth in the continent.
Dumelo, last question. Where is it going to be held? Where can we find you? Could we watch it on TV, maybe?
I believe there will be different platforms that will champion the event tomorrow. But I think the Lux venue in Sandton will be the venue for tomorrow. Hopefully people have bought their tickets. We'll see you there, and we've got great speakers there. We've got the CEO of SABC who won the best media award at Brand Africa. Who will be there for us to be our keynote speaker, and we've got great presenters that will be there. But more importantly, we've got the top 16 youth brands that are going to be our main VIP guests to be winning these awards.
Thank you, Dumelo Chaka, emerging market strategist and consumer behavioral expert. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the work you do for the Yobas. It's 2:30. It's time for the news headlines.
Thank you, KG. On the news headlines, the KwaZulu-Natal Transport MEC, Siboniso Duma, says a representative from Toyota South Africa has told him that a 6.5 billion rand lawsuit to claim for damages stemming from the 2022 floods was initiated by their insurance company. President Cyril Ramaphosa has committed to ensuring the independence of the country's judiciary, and European foreign ministers are due to meet their Iranian counterparts Abbas Araghchi in Geneva to try to ease the conflict between Iran and Israel. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
There are routines we all love. Morning and night skincare routines, exercise routines, even new routines like meal prep, journaling, and chemo. That last one hit differently, didn't it? The truth is, over 99% of cervical cancer cases are linked to the human papillomavirus. So if you're a woman between 15 and 44, act now. Ask your healthcare provider about the HPV vaccine. This message was brought to you by MSD.
Hey, Paul, what's the rush?
I'm off to SARS. I want to check if I'll be auto-assessed.
No need. If you're auto-assessed, SARS will send you a notice between 7 and 20 July.
So I just wait for the notice?
Exactly. If you get the notice, check it. And if you agree, you're done. Disagree, file using e-filing or the SARS Mobi app. If you don't get the notice, file from 21 July. Make tax matters your priority. Go to sars.gov.za and say goodbye to queues. SARS, at your service.
The Rockets want to take full control of 90 minutes. Meanwhile, First Touch ladies want to transition quick with First Touch football. This is the Hollywood Bet Super League. Do not miss out on glittering action between TS Galaxy Queens and First Touch ladies on Saturday 21 June at 3 p.m. Streaming live on SABC Plus and SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
Every person, no matter who you are, what music you're inclined to listen to, and what you do with your weekends. You need a weekend playlist. It's that musical mix of music that accompanies the lazy weekends, whether catching up with friends and family or just taking some time to reflect. Tune in to The Soundtrack of Your Life with me, Ernest Pillay, Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4 on SAFM.
Two lucky couples stand in line to experience the Eastern Cape's Arts Festival Magic from the 27th to the 29th of June 2025. The lucky winners receive return flights to Gqeberha, 3 nights cozy accommodation with dinner and breakfast, your own Eastern Cape Parks and Tourism Agency vehicle and driver, an exclusive Sunday morning excursion, and tickets to the best National Arts Festival shows of the opening weekend in Makanda. Have your phone ready and listen to the full circle. Call us on 086 000 2032 and say, Eastern Cape, yours to explore. Then tell us why you love the Eastern Cape and want to go to the National Arts Festival. The first 2 couples to correctly make the call will swap their weekend routine for art, culture, and adventure. Dial in now and make the Eastern Cape your next story.
And welcome to Nali Bali. Have you ever been hungry and wished you could make something to eat all by yourself? Learning how to prepare simple meals is an important skill that helps us become independent. It's fun to mix, stir, and create delicious food, but it's also important to be safe in the kitchen. Knowing how to use kitchen tools carefully, asking for help when needed, and keeping things clean can make cooking both safe and exciting. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Who knows, you might even become a great chef one day. Today's story is called Sinazo's Super Sandwich, written by Joanne Bloch. But before we listen to today's story, let's all get up and dance! It was a warm afternoon. Sinazo hopped and skipped and jumped and climbed and swung upside down from the lowest branch of the guava tree. She threw a ball to a little dog, Patchy, and stroked a big cat, Puffy. She patted her hand and sang a sweet song.
Oh, Henny, my Henny, there isn't just any other Henny as lovely as you.
Reading time, said Sinazo's mom at 4 o'clock.
Can I make a sandwich first? I am so hungry,
said Sinazo. She pulled her hungry lion face and roared. Her mom smiled. Yes, but promise you'll clean up afterwards. Tuli's playing with a friend down the road. I'm going to fetch her now. When we return, this kitchen must be spotless, Mom said.
I promise,
said Sinazo. She was already at the fridge door, with Patchy and Puffy right behind her. Henny stood in the doorway of the kitchen. She knew she wasn't allowed to come inside the house.
What ingredients should I use?
Sinazo asked her animal friends. Said Henny. Said Patchy. Said Puffy. Sinazo pulled out a packet of cheese slice, a bowl of sliced cucumber and tomato, and a big round lettuce from the fridge.
Super!
Said Sinazo. Said Henny. In the bread bin, Sinazo found a loaf of sliced brown bread.
Stupendous!
Said Sinazo. Said Patchy. In the cupboard, Sinazo found fish paste, mayonnaise, and pickles.
Ooh, scrumptious,
said Sinazo. Said Puffy. Sinazo spread a splotch of fish paste into a slice of bread. Carefully, she placed 2 slices of tomato on top. Next, she placed a slice of cheese on the tomato. She dug out a small pickle from the jar and placed it on top of the cheese.
This needs mayonnaise,
she said, and squished a dollop of mayonnaise onto the pickle. By now, Sinazo's sandwich looks a little shaky, but she wasn't finished yet. She pulled a big green leaf of lettuce, washed it, and stuck it into the mayonnaise.
Now for the finishing touches. I just love cucumber.
She told Puffy and picked out 5 slices of cucumber and balanced them carefully on top of the lettuce leaf. She placed another slice of bread on top of the cucumber. She moved the towering sandwich onto a plate and carried it to the table and sat down. Said Puffy and scratched the table leg. Henny clucked and took a step into the kitchen. Patchy whined and wagged his tail. Sinazo closed her eyes and opened her mouth wide. She took a huge bite, but the sandwich was too tall and wobbly. As Sinazo bit into the side of the sandwich, bits of tomato, pickle, cheese, and most of the big green lettuce leaves shoot out of the other side. Great blobs of mayonnaise and fish paste hit the tabletop. Sinazo started laughing. Laughing made her cough, and a mouthful of unchewed sandwich flew out of her mouth. In a flash, Puffy jumped onto the table. She had her greedy eye on the cheese. Before she could reach it, she skidded into a puddle of mayonnaise and landed right back on the floor. Patchy started to bark and jump. Soon his paws were covered in mayonnaise too.
Oh no! What will Mom say? It's so dirty in here,
said Sinazo. She wasn't laughing anymore. She rushed to the sink to fetch a cloth. Henny saw her chance. She swooped into the kitchen, hopped onto Sinazo's chair and started pecking at the pieces of food laying all over the table. Patchy barked and Puffy hissed. It's not fair. We want to eat too, they were telling Sinazo.
All right, just hold on,
said Sinazo. While she wiped the table, she picked up blobs of bread and cheese and threw them at Patchy. Meanwhile, Puffy licked up the fish paste and mayonnaise, and Henny finished all of the bits of tomato, cucumber, and pickle. Soon, most of the sandwich was gone, and Sinazo wiped up the rest. Then she shooed Henny gently out of the kitchen door.
Thanks for helping me, Henny, but you're not really allowed in the house,
Sinazo said. She was just in time. Her mom and Tuli were at the gate. As they opened it, Puffy and Patchy licked their paws one last time and padded off.
Hello, Mom. I've just finished cleaning up,
said Sinazo. 3 hours later, the family was eating their supper. Suddenly, little Tuli started laughing.
What's so funny, Tuli?
asked Sinazo. Tuli pointed at the big kitchen clock on the wall behind their dad. There was something green stuck to the clock. It was the big green lettuce leaf that had shot out of Sinazo's sandwich. Sinazo started laughing too. Her parents stopped talking, turned and saw the leaf. My goodness, how did a lettuce leaf get up there? Said Sinazo's dad. Sinazo's mom looked at the lettuce leaf. She frowned over the top of her glasses, then said to Sinazo, Sinazo, do you know anything about this? She asked, but Sinazo was laughing too much to answer. And so we come to the end of another Nali Bali story time. Today's story was called Sinazo's Super Sandwich, written by Joanne Bloch. Did you know that reading and telling stories to children at home can help them do better at school? If you want free stories to read to your children or for your children to enjoy on their own, visit the Nali Bali website www.nalibali.org or Mobi site www.nalibali.mobi. You will find stories in 11 South African languages, as well as tips for reading and sharing stories with your children to grow their potential. Also look out for the bilingual Nali Bali Reading for Enjoyment supplement with great children's stories and activities, available in newspapers. Nali Bali, it starts with a story.
Specsavers Audiology, South Africa's largest audiology group, brings you the all-new Clarity Pro rechargeable hearing aids. Experience cutting-edge features at a price you can afford. For a limited time only, buy one Clarity Pro rechargeable hearing aid and get 50% off the second. You heard right. Buy one and get 50% off the second. Visit specsavers.co.za to find your nearest store and ask for Clarity Pro today. Specsavers Audiology. Test your hearing and join the conversation. T's and C's apply.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable for you. Whether it's a civil, criminal, or labor-related matter, we have a nationwide panel of attorneys standing by to assist you. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195 and we'll call you back. Clientele General is a licensed non-life insurer and an authorized FSP. Standard rates and terms and conditions apply.
It's a tough day for Mark. Tight deadlines and challenges everywhere. But Mark can rest easy because when he bought his Hino 700 2845 truck tractor, he received a complimentary service plan covering up to 210,000 kilometers for short haul and up to 280,000 kilometers for long haul. Nice one, Mark. Visit your dealer today to find out more about this limited time offer. Hino, all the way. T's and C's apply.
Two lucky couples stand in line to experience the Eastern Cape's Arts Festival magic from the 27th to the 29th of June 2025. The lucky winners receive return flights to Gqeberha, 3 nights cozy accommodation with dinner and breakfast, your own Eastern Cape Parks and Tourism Agency vehicle and driver, an exclusive Sunday morning excursion, and tickets to the best National Arts Festival shows of the opening weekend in Makanda. Have your phone ready and listen to the full circle. Call us on 086 000 2032 and say, Eastern Cape, yours to explore. Then tell us why you love the Eastern Cape and want to go to the National Arts Festival. The first two couples to correctly make the call will swap their weekend routine for art, culture, and adventure. Dial in now and make the Eastern Cape your next story.
You are listening to The Full Circle.
So we'll be talking about professionalizing the creative arts, arts as a career stream. KG, we have creative children here in South Africa who represent culture and their artistic abilities. They have gifts and they can draw, they can sing and build complex and extraordinary things. Limiting children to only text and numbers in the classroom will not give them time to explore their interests or at least be taken seriously for it. So when was the last time you drew something or even made something that felt like it wasn't a waste of time? And confining yourself in a serious working environment can sometimes alter your creativity, but you can always make the learning and working experience better to reside in by allowing creativity to flow through that space. So we are here with Shalom Mushwana. He is a sonic and visual creator and a photographer and animator.
Welcome, Shalom, and thank you so much for your time. When did you discover you needed to incorporate art in your life?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Art is just something that's been around my life. I grew up in Makanda. Quite funny, you had the advert about the National Arts Festival. But the National Arts Festival itself has been something that's been perpetually in my life. I can say for at least 25 years I've been attending the festival, and I do think it's been a key inspiration in my endeavor to become an artist.
Did you feel like you had the people around you to appreciate and acknowledge your work?
For sure. I think those people came from quite a large variety of places. For one, I did decide to take a more academic route in pursuing the arts, so university lecturers, the friends and individuals who I call colleagues that I met within those spaces were the people that acknowledge the work that I do. I think the lecturers that I had, one example is Brent Meister, was just a really key inspiration in me being a photographer and being inspired and in providing a space for me and the resources to kind of create that work.
So did your love for art grow at school? Is that what you were saying? Did you discover that on your own while you were going through that journey in university as well?
Yeah, I think I started drawing when I was around 10 years old, back in like 2004. We used to get these packets of chips, and they'd come with these Tazos at the time. They came with these like Dragon Ball Z Tazos, and I first started kind of just trying to. You remember those, yeah. I used to just like copy those and kind of copy those illustrations and drawings, and I think that's when I first started attempting to draw. So around 10 years old, but yeah, I think I carried on with arts in high school. Didn't really see it as a career, I think, up until I picked up a camera. And I had a friend, who I photographed with. His name's Justin Sher. And we just used to like riff off each other, photographing and showing each other one another's photographs, learning how the camera functions. There was a little point and shoot camera, but we were like severely obsessed with this thing. We couldn't put it down, and it was just this beautiful world, of discovery and making and creating and authoring photographs, not just kind of going out into the world and taking photographs.
So what challenges did you face as you continue to pursue and thrive in your artistic journey? Because I know that usually people say, hey, don't doodle, enough of that. So did you face any challenges?
Yeah, I think motivation and inspiration is like a perpetual challenge, It's been quite apparent in my life of late. One may think that being an artist in any form is being an individual with this like endless well of inspiration, ideas, and the execution of those ideas. This hasn't been the case like in my life for about a year, but I've also had to kind of be gentle with myself and kind of allow this sort of like blockage to release itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find any sort of impediments in the environment that you grew up in terms of acceptance for the, art that you were doing? Because sometimes when you do something different that people are not used to, people will mock you, will say, "Wenzani lo?" So did you find encouragement or any sort of challenges in the environment that you grew up in as you were evolving into the artist that you are now?
Yeah, I think I'm just very thankful to have parents who are just extremely supportive.
Yeah.
I think that often in Black families, it can be quite difficult to go into creative profession because it's not a real job,
Because they say find a real job.
Yeah, find a real job. It is difficult to like make money within the arts, but they also such a wealth of opportunities. I do think I was particularly lucky and privileged to have a mother and father that are somewhat academically inclined, and also sets quite a high standard for us. And regardless of, the profession that I decide to go into, the arts, they have been very supportive. And like I said, growing up in Makanda, there's just a general air of academia and interest in arts, and I think the environment that I've been in and grew up in has been more supportive than most.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love that you said making money from art, because a lot of parents may think when their children say they want to go that route, that it's not something that can make them money. I like that you just emphasize that you do make money from your art.
Yeah, I think that it also takes different forms, like I said, I went the academic way. And I think by studying a fine art degree, it's also allowed me to consider art education as a way to be involved within the art world itself. I think that sometimes just the making of art is not the be all and end all of being an artist. I think there are so many different streams and avenues that you can move within as an artist. There are places, whether it be working in a gallery, in a museum, whether it be assisting another artist, whether it be in the education space or just being a technical assistant within the education space. I think sometimes it's important to understand the breadth of the careers available within the arts.
May you share some words of encouragement to the youth who also want to pursue art and other creative outlets?
Yeah, for sure. I'd like the youth to know that there's a wealth of possibilities within the creative world. I think it's important to understand that we come from a very unique context here in South Africa, and the experiences that we have as individuals and as a collective, these experiences we have to draw upon and be inspired by make us very unique globally. And I think, it's very important for us to lean on and find inspiration from the things around us, whether it be family, culture, and we just have such a rich amount of things to draw upon.
Yeah.
We also just live in it. Yep.
So where are you on the socials? Okay. Where can people find you on the socials to find out more about your work?
Sure. You can follow me on Instagram at shalom_mushwana, and that's where I'm at.
Okay. All the best, and thank you for your time, Shalom.
Thank both of you.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're done.
Yeah.
2 hours done. Mm-hmm. How do you feel?
I feel amazing.
You feel amazing?
I feel good.
Thank you for curating the work because what we have to emphasize is that you're more than just a voice. You were also a mind. You thought about, because sometimes people think that radio is just us using a voice. That's why they like to say, you've got a nice voice for radio. They forget that we also use our minds to curate ideas. You were more than just a voice. You curated the content that we did today. So well done to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you for sitting next to me. I hope I gave to you as much as you gave to me.
You did. Way more.
Listen, thank you, Lulu.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It was so good to represent the youth, especially in such an important month like Youth Month.
Fantastic. Thank you for choosing the music. And thank you to Ntabiseng and Dosh, who are the producers as well.
Yes, they're amazing.
Say hi to your mom.
Hi, Mom. Thank you.
Sivulele ingasivaleli ngaphandle nathi sifuna ukuphila i-soft life 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 masihlale phansi sicobelelane ngolwazi esinalo silekelelane kumele impilo ibe njalo oh please